Good morning, beautiful people, and happy Monday. So I'm coming to you guys today because I one of my younger colleagues had reached out to me and pretty much asked me how I deal with I have the conversation here. How you deal with clients who talk down on you or your work or just overall have nasty attitudes. So that is what we are going to get into today. So first and foremost, I want to say that I understand that as black stylists, like we get a bad rep, and there are some bad eggs just like there is anywhere. But I feel like a lot of what we go through and a lot of the contention that we deal with, what dealing with our own, is honestly just a lot of unhealed and unhappy people. And things a lot of the time get taken as rejection. And so the minute that I've learned, and the minute that a potential client feels rejected, they automatically get defensive. And instead of them looking back and going, you know what, I'm tripping right now, they want to start throwing shots to make themselves feel better about whatever it is that's bothering them. So I would first and foremost say that while these things can hurt, while these things can feel like daggers sometimes, always remember that if you yourself have not done anything wrong, that there is nothing for you to take personally, right? So let's just start there. Remember that this is a business. The CEO of Target, if somebody says Target is trash, I don't mess with Target. The CEO of Target is not going to come down and talk to you individually and be like, oh my God, you don't like Target? Why? Yeah, that's not really how they do things, right? Okay, so we're going to get into it. So, first and foremost, she said, how do you deal with the ones who try to down talk you or your work? You don't. You don't. I know that I'm very matter of fact when it comes to this topic, but it's true. You don't. What you do is you thank God for allowing you to see who these people are and exposing those demonic energies, and you block them and you move on, right? Because anything negative that or anything period, anything that you give attention to, it magnifies, right? So if you continue to pay attention to the negativity, what's going to happen? You're going to bring more negativity into your space, and that's not something that we want. Always remember that most of the time, the clients that are telling you, oh, I would never pay this for this, or oh, you charge too much for this, or oh, my old stylist used to do this, or I've never heard of this, or da 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 da. Those ones that have all that criticism, they were never going to sit in your chair in the first place. They just needed a place to get that off on. And you just happen to be the person that they did that to today. This young lady that reached out to me, when I tell you guys her work is immaculate, immaculate. Now, I have never personally sat in her chair, so I can't speak on how her business is. Like I don't know if she's always on time. I don't know what her customer service is like. So I'm speaking from a general space. But as far as her work itself goes, she said that people speak on her work or down talk her work. I would say to that sometimes people be mad too that you're the person who they want to service them, but they can't afford that. And so the only thing that they could try to do is make you feel bad about the fact that you're priced out of their range as well. Always remember that this is why I always preach remembering who your target market is and remember who you're marketing to and the clients that you would like to attract. Because sometimes there's going to be those dissatisfactory clients that still end up in the radar or end up in your plane. Excuse me. They end up in your plane and you need to just be reminded that, okay, this is not a person I want to be bothered with anyway. So for me personally, when I get those kind of messages, I used to respond, oh, I'm sorry you feel that way. Yeah, I don't care. And it's not for me to care. Whoever that client is meant for will find them, right? Just like the clients that's meant for you will find you. So the best thing I can say to that is block and move on. Don't internalize it. Don't let it hurt your feelings. Block and move on. The next thing that she said was, how do you deal with clients that have nasty attitudes? So I'm going to break this into a two-part thing. One, if this is a potential client and you can tell from the beginning messages that they have a bad attitude, once again, block and move on. You don't have to explain to them why you don't want to do their hair. You don't have to explain to them why they're making you uncomfortable. You don't have to do any of that. Block and move on. I think a lot of the time the reason why we deal with so much resistance when it comes to social media as well is because a lot of us are outspoken, myself included. Well, we have to understand that when we are speaking on these things that we're going to get some kind of backlash because there's going to be that one unhealed person in the group that thinks the whole world is picking on them and all black stylists don't like them. And they're going to be the one to have to, they're going to have to die on the hill that they're on, right? So, for instance, I could say right now, okay, in particular, I don't care to service male clients because in the past when I have done so, it's made me very uncomfortable, right? So you're going to have those male clients like my husband that be like, okay, yeah, I completely understand. And so when they go and get serviced by women, they're more, they try to be more aware and try to be more conscious about, okay, how am I coming off to this young lady? Do I feel threatening to this young lady? Am I making this young lady feel safe? Does this young lady feel comfortable in doing my hair, right? Then you have certain men that are like, that have darker energies, right? And they're gonna do everything to try to disprove your point while proving your point. You know what I mean? So that's what I mean in that case. You could tell clients like, you know what? I particularly don't care to braid alopecia clients because it's not my specialty. And you're going to get a client that's not a client, not your client. You've never even met them, that are going to come and try to gaslight you and be like, oh, well, a real stylist can do anything. Okay. So then if I tell you that I'm not versed in this and then I try anyway and your hair is pulled out, then you're going to be trying to sue me because your hair got pulled out. You get what I mean? So back to that. So sometimes you're going to get those people where they've never even sat in your chair. It's just that something about you irritates their demons. And so they feel the need to get that off. Block them and keep it pushing. Don't even give them the time of day. Like I said, don't think about it. Don't harp on them too long. Don't even worry about it, right? That's number one. Number two, if this is a client in your chair, this is where things change. And, people on the internet will tell you like, oh, well, I would have did this and I would have did that and yada, 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 yada. But at the end of the day, the name of the game is protecting yourself and protecting your space and protecting your business, right? I am in California. We are in Los Angeles. You deal with a lot of black people, black women here that can be very aggressive and damn near bullies when things are not going their way or they feel a certain way, right? And so at the end of the day, you have to look at it like, when you are dealing with yourself as a business and as a businesswoman, you cannot handle things the way that you would handle things on the street. Sometimes you really do have to kill people with kindness. So in the event that happens, what you do is, I feel like as long as you are not in physical danger, you finish that service. I tell people all the time, when I deal with clients that are unsatisfactory, or I deal with a client that I know for a fact I will never invite back into my chair, I'm going to give them the absolute best service that I could give them. I'm telling you, top-notch everything. And I'm going to damn near over-exaggerate my customer service. And then when they are gone, baby, they are blocked. I'm not going to explain to you why I blocked you. I'm not going to go on this whole tirade about why I blocked you. I'm not even going to do a story time right away. You might not even get a story time about that client for another 2 years. Because you just want to get that energy away from you. And then when that person leaves, you cleanse your space. A lot of the times people know who they are. There are a lot of people that will excuse being assholes for saying, oh, I'm real. No, you're an ass. You're rude. You're uncomfortable to be around. Your personality is trash. But as a professional, you can't tell them that. So I always say what you do is you just make it a point to do the very best that you can do until you can get that person out of your space. Yes, we have the right to refuse service. But sometimes, like I've said before, there are a lot of people that cannot deal with rejection. And in you refusing service, you may very well be putting yourself in danger. And I've been there. I've had clients where I have had blatantly on my policies, it has said, if you're past such many minutes and your appointment is canceled, they'll pull up an hour later and they be wanting to fight you because they are late, but you refuse to take them. People really cannot take rejection. So for me, just always remember that if you are doing your absolute best, there is nothing else for the day that you can do. So don't let that bother you. And while you should care about how your clients feel, how negative people feel, number one, and how complete strangers that have never sat in your chair, number two, are not your concern. Your job is to get to work, make people feel beautiful, and return back home safely. If you guys have any more questions, leave them in the comments. If this was helpful for you, please let me know. And I will see y'all in the next video. Bye.